sure Corey or myself can answer.
I have a couple questions.
Go for
So I'm currently working on a short trooper, and this is quite a bit different from the clones that I've built before. So especially the chest plate. This is an Imperial surplus kit. Now I'm used to on the clones, the straps will attach right to the rubberized straps will attach to the chest plate. So I know that the straps that go over the top are decorative. They don't actually hold it together. So what do you guys use to hold the chest and the back together?
I'm working on a long gestating project with my short trooper, which is also from Imperial Surplus. Mickey, I can see Mickey's already laughing. What's up, boss?
Hi.
What I ended up doing was actually putting some snaps like underneath, like kind of like with a sand trooper or a stormtrooper, like sort of the same thing, how like those straps are also decorative on the top. And I just put straps underneath, and then it's just the sort of the rubber part, just, you know, it just sort of slots in the back.
That's exactly what I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
I don't know if you can see under here. You see that black strap?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, same thing. It's different costumes, same chest piece though, and same back.
Yeah.
So yeah, the rubber, the strap on top is basically just decorative, and that bottom one is what holds all the weight.
Great. And then when I was doing the straps for my legs, I soaked them in. I got some water boiling first, and then turned it off, and then threw my straps in there so I could get them kind of rounded better.
Yeah.
Now, when I'm gluing to the front here, is it a good idea to kind of thin out some of that material underneath, because those straps are pretty thick from Imperial Surplus?
The Imperial Surplus straps going into the Imperial Surplus armor?
Yeah, so here, I'll show you.
I mean, because mine fit fine, so I'm wondering if maybe you made the housing a little more narrow.
No, not the back.
Oh, the front. Yeah, the front is really weird. I still don't quite understand.
Because it's kind of got this lip on there.
Yeah.
You can see where it's built up there, and then when you add the strap on top of it, it's like huge.
You have to put you have to add a little bit of plastic, like ABS, like a square or something, underneath the front of the buckle to kind of lift it up a little bit.
Okay.
Like
it's
a
really,
shim.
It's really, yeah, like a shim. It's really strange. I'm not quite sure why it was designed that way, because as far as I know, those bumps aren't on the screen used costumes. I haven't seen them anyway.
Would it be better to cut out those bumps and then just put a flat piece of ABS underneath of it and then glue this over the top?
If you're feeling froggy, yeah. I mean, I just left mine, but
okay.
Yeah, it would be easier. And also, I ended up getting the Mr. Paul straps because they're just looser. They're very floppy, so you don't have that issue as much.
I also have the Mr. Paul straps, and yeah, they're very flexible. You don't even have to boil them or anything like that. They're tough, but you know, you can just twist them with your hand.
And he also, the last segment on his straps is flat, so that it slides right under the buckle.
Okay. The Imperial Surplus ones is flat also on the last.
No, it's flatter than that.
I
have both. I have both.
Okay.
I know.
I'll get mine. They're right over here. I'll be right back.
Okay. Yeah, no, I started with those Imperial Surplus straps. So yeah, I know those straps. You have to rig up that front buckle in a way to lift it up somewhat so the strap can go underneath of it. It's kind of a pain.
Okay. Yeah, because I've pretty much got my back almost done.
Yeah, that's good.
And I cut on the inside. I cut out the holes on the inside so the strap can go through it and keep going down.
Sure.
But I was just thinking, man, that's it's a pretty thick strap, and I was just kind of wondering about that.
No, I did the same thing. I boiled mine to and then curved them. But I eventually just ended up going with the Mr. Paul straps just because they're easier to work with. You can make those work. Mine was approved with those straps. You can do it. But down the road, if you just want to, use the Corey,
Something that's
them?
easier.
Yeah, see, they're just like blah, 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 blah.
Oh yeah, man, that's like night and day.
Yeah, and you don't have to boil them. They're already this way out of the package.
Yeah.
And like this is the flat part that Mickey was talking about. They're
Oh,
flat.
yeah,
They're
yeah.
flat on both ends, so like it makes it kind of easy to slip into the back slots, as well as to put the buckle on the front.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I may hold off on my chest then until I can get some of those, because that might be just a lot easier than working with the Imperial Surplus ones.
I think, did Paul just post up that he completed a whole bunch of them and they're ready for purchase the other day? I think I recall seeing that he just finished up a bunch of stuff and was ready for sale. I mean, you can buy his, you can use those. It's fine.
Yeah.
Either way.
It just looks like those are a lot easier to probably work with than the
Yeah,
Imperial
they are. They are. I'm not going to lie.
Surplus.
Paul's, he's made a lot of cool things for the Shore Trooper. So I'm not saying you got to buy every single thing from him, but he does have some neat stuff.
I got his lens for my helmet,
Same.
and so it's the Imperial Surplus helmet, but I was able to get the Mr. Paul's lens in there, so I was pretty happy about that.
Yeah, he doesn't guarantee that it'll fit with anything other than the Anovos and Nico's helmet, but most people have reported back that they've managed to get it into a few of the other ones too. I think people were using them in their Sean Fields also.
That's very helpful. Thank you.
Yeah, that's what we're here for. Anybody else? Come on, man. I just ate. I'm feeling good.
We figured that's why you were a couple minutes late. You didn't want to eat on camera.
I didn't want to eat in front of you guys because, I don't want to upset anybody. I was having a delicious Thai meal, though.
Thai's the best.
Right?
Hey, how are you guys doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good. So this is Mike, Johnny Go Easy, on the
Oh,
Oh, hey,
forums.
Johnny.
Yeah, hey, I actually just changed my name.
So you don't
So-
go easy anymore?
No, I don't go easy anymore. I'm having
Go hard.
two
All
issues that
right.
I ran into today. One is I've got E6000 leaching up through my vinyl on my boots. I don't know if at the top of the boot, you can't see it in the camera, but it's like super sticky.
It does that.
So just wait it out and let the E6000 cure up. It's been in there about 24 hours now.
Oh,
Alcohol wiped a little bit of it up, but it seems to just keep kind of coming back.
Is it
So
throughout all of the vinyl or just that top section?
It's kind of coming in spots. So it looks like, this morning when I get up, it looked like condensation or sweat. And as soon as I touched it, I just like stuck to the boot like fly paper. So I dry wiped it with a paper towel. And it kind of beads up, like the E6000 does. And then I was able to take a little alcohol and clean it up. But then when I got back from work tonight, it was back, although not as bad as it was this morning. So I'm under the impression it takes like 3 days or 4 days for that stuff to fully cure anyway.
Well, yeah, to fully cure, yeah. I mean but usually it shouldn't be sticky after that long. It's having a reaction with something else.
Yeah, the vinyl's it's just marine grade vinyl. I got it from a shop down in Florida.
How hot is it right now where you're at?
Yeah.
75, 80, wicked high humidity.
Oh, yeah.
ooh.
Yeah, we've got the tail end of that hurricane's coming through right now. So the past day or so has been hot and wet.
Mm,
So maybe that's it.
it
Um,
could be.
Although I stuck
I-
it in the room with a dehumidifier and it didn't seem to make any difference, but
I wouldn't make any major changes just yet. As I said, it could be the weather, it could be the vinyl. I would leave it another 48 hours because usually when I've glued something, I put it aside, leave it there for a number of days. I found the glue seeped when I used it on a completely different costume, and it made the product sticky, like what you're explaining. But instead of going back and pulling it apart and trying again, leave it for a few days, see how it goes, get back to us. But it is, again, it can be weather. It's like anything with painting, with spraying paint, with gluing, the weather does affect it. Look at the vinyl, test. I'm always a big believer in, if you've got a little bit of that vinyl left over, why don't you go and test it on something else? Use that E600 onto something else and see how that reacts. And that may react differently. So you've got to find out what the issue is before you start pulling the boot apart again and wrecking everything. And it could be something simple.
I'll wait. I'll definitely hold off. I started a build probably 18 years ago and used shoe goo, and I got my boots almost done. And I had really good results with it. And I'd never heard of this.
No punk rocker worth his salt is without shoe goo. Am I
right?
Corey?
Exactly.
What else are we fixing our
but everybody's been
creepers with
using
than
this
shoe goo?
E6000, so I thought I'd give it a shot. Yeah, and the other issue that I'm having, and it may be the same thing, is I'm having an issue with the X2 Rust-Oleum. I'd never played with that. I've painted cars professionally and have used a plethora of different products, but I sprayed my bucket tonight, and the overspray from that stuff tacks up like immediately. And I don't know if maybe that's a humidity thing too.
Like the like orange peeling, what you talking about?
Yeah, basically I had the helmet setting and I sprayed along the bottom first, and any overspray that came up just instantly stuck to the top, and it was just like so dusty. It was really kind of a bummer, but I put a good wet coat on. Can that stuff, so yeah, my question is, how is that stuff with wet sanding?
Oh, that stuff's fine with wet. I've used that stuff plenty. The Rust-Oleum Painter's Touch ×2 stuff. That stuff's
one of the more popular paints.
Yeah, I mean, it's like
is.
everyone has it. I mean, you go to Ace, Home Depot.
Well, it's a really close
like
color match with our white ABS. It's really close. So that's really good.
Yeah, that stuff wet signs just fine. There shouldn't be any issues there. The stuff that gets a little tougher to sand is if you start using the clear coats and stuff like that.
I'm not going to bother because I'm going to weather it for a remnant scout anyway. So
but just the straight white wet sand's just fine.
Okay, cool. I'll just leave it for a few days and then hit it. That'll be awesome. So that's it for my big questions. The build's coming along well, and all the armor's cut. I've got the elastics are all on there, so I'm ready to start weathering and sewing.
Great.
Yeah.
Awesome.
When you start doing the sewing, give us a yell. If you need any
Yeah,
help.
well, I mean, unlike 20 years ago, there's a lot of good patterns and information out there, and with the remnant scout, there's a ton of leeway. Things don't have to be quite as precise as they do with
because you can just throw it on there.
Yeah, you just kind of go get some Depends from the store, throw some stitching on the front, call it good.
Yeah, it's fine. Well, we're working on making the level 2 standards for that scout right now.
I like that. I've been following along there.
Yeah, keep an eye on that thread. I don't think it's not going to be anything drastic that's going to cause you to have to redo anything, but you know.
No, I'm working toward that thing anyway. The only thing that I didn't expect that was brought up today, I think, was the wider elastic on the waist. I think we're looking at probably a 2-inch.
Oh,
is that what you guys were talking about? Yeah,
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
because I know like all the kits come with 1.5 inches, I think.
Yeah, I mean that's what most of the kits were designed in mind for. Walt's kit being a little bit bigger than most scout kits, there was probably room for 2-inch in those slots.
Yeah,
I think a lot of them it would be pretty tough.
It would be on mine. I don't know if I've got a Studio Creations.
But that one picture that was shown of the scout at I think it was San Diego Comic-Con. Yeah, it was 2-inch elastic, but it was bulging out of the
Yeah,
sides.
it looks like
didn't-
they really crammed it in there.
Yeah, so I mean, if that's their standard for the TV show, then that would be our standard for level 2. We're not gonna make you do something neater than,
Right.
you know.
Yeah, exactly. So that's not a big deal anyway. I mean, elastic's easy to get, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Okay.
seems to me that when you guys set up the CRL to begin with, that you were really close anyhow.
I mean, that's kind of how we do most Pathfinder CRLs. What we do is our trick is always to just put the heavy details in level 2, but you still kind of need those details to build level 1, you know, because you
Yeah.
want to know elastic sizes and things like that. So it's like a carrot stick sort of thing to get people to move towards accuracy.
Yeah.
So we feel like our level 1s are, you know, welcoming enough for people, but they still score pretty high in the accuracy department.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. I think
think
you guys
so.
are doing a good job.
That's what I like to hear.
Yeah. Well, some of the same people, right? So from bikerscout.net, like 20 years ago, right? There's a couple
well, I
of you
don't know if-
guys that are still kicking
I
around.
don't know about 20 years ago, but I mean, Dart's been around a long time. That's kind of why I asked him to be my executive officer, because he kind of has the institutional knowledge. Like,
Yeah.
if I have a question,
Well, if
like,
you want to feel old, I
what
started
happened,
my,
you know, what were they doing in 2007, and Dart will have the answer for me. you
yeah,
know?
yeah, yeah. Well, I
So-
started my first build when my second daughter was born, and she's 17 now.
Oh wow.
So hang on.
Oh wow. I've been there for 7 years now. So
Yeah,
I
it's
guess
pretty
a long
good.
time for most people, but there are people that have been there longer than me. Sure.
Yeah, it's nuts. Well, I'll open the floor up to somebody else. That's enough jabbing for me. So
Hey, I mean, people learn from questions. So don't, you know, if you got
You
something.
must look really young.
Who looks really young?
Me?
You look
we
really
all
young.
we all look
Thank
young. It's the lighting.
Yeah, I know. If I
The
go like
special
this, I look like a
filters.
baby.
I wanted a special filter, but I couldn't find one.
Okay, so where are all the other Australians? Because it's all we ever complain about is that we never do one for them, and here we
I'm
are.
here. It's a Saturday morning for us, so I don't understand where they are. It's like
Maybe trooping.
it's a good time. No, if I pinch this, I think Glenn's in Western Australia. He has probably just got up, so he's probably looking at he's 2 hours behind us. So he's probably 9
Okay.
o'clock.
That'd be
South
great. if you
Australia
could-
is a 1 hour,
Okay.
but yeah, they all should be up. I don't know where they
All
are.
right. Well, I mean, we're going to be here for another hour and a half at least, so hopefully
might turn
somebody-
up.
Yeah, that'd be great.
But you got me.
Yeah, no, it's nice to finally talk to you and say hi. You've been on staff for, you know, many years, and
Yeah, I think 10 years I've had the Scout, I think.
oh wow.
And I've redone her a couple of times. I've upgraded because I was the grandfather effect, but and now
Yeah.
2 of my kids are now scouts, and I've made so many scouts in our garrison. It's ridiculous.
Awesome.
I've done
I
about
love it.
up team boots, and I think every scout in Nightfall have got my cummerbund. So
Oh,
the new ones, the 2-piece that we designed. So
oh, excellent. I love to hear that. It's down
I've
with
got
the
my
one
it's my
piece.
daughter's
Get rid of
scout.
it. Oh, nice.
That's
Very
her.
cool.
That's her scout up there. I grabbed
Was that
hers.
the Studio Creations armor?
Yeah.
Right on.
So I grabbed hers. My sons and mine are still in cases somewhere, so I thought I'll quickly grab hers and pull hers out.
Oh, very cool.
And it's freezing here. I'm just to let you guys know.
Oh
It's
wow.
winter, so it's freezing.
Oh right.
My
Yeah.
nose goes cold.
No, it's very warm here in Southern California.
No.
Very warm. Is that John? Do I see John McCall? What's up, man?
Just lurking as always.
How you doing?
It's almost bedtime.
Oh yeah, right. You're Eastern.
Ahead, so 9:30ish, 9:20ish.
Okay.
Yeah, no, we've had the heat that you guys were having out there shifted this way. It's been over 90 and 95% humidity all week. So
Oh yeah.
We-
Yeah.
We had some bad storms. We had some serious flooding about a week and a half ago.
Wow.
Got 6.5 inches of rain in 15 minutes.
Yee.
So
Yee.
saturated us pretty good. And then stopped raining and got really hot. So it got super humid. And so just trying to stay in and stay cool right now. We're back to trooping out here though, which is nice. But I'm like you. You posted something the other day about letting the young guns take it during the summer and come back in the fall when it's temperate again.
Yeah, I don't like peeling myself out of my undersuit. I'll let the young people do that. Let the new guys do that. The hungry guys. I'll be back in the fall.
Yeah.
I think it's cool. Okay, I got a package.
How do you weather your short trooper boots? So I got the Orca Bay Brecons and they're pretty light. So what do you use to darken them up?
Black shoe polish.
Just black shoe polish?
I used black shoe polish on mine, and it made it look like that movie color, because the movie color doesn't match any of the available colors. They darkened them up. I took black shoe polish and just kind of worked it in slowly and got it that dark color, and then just dusted them with baby powder, and it worked pretty well.
Okay.
But yeah, just get a little, start a little bit at a time. Don't go crazy. You don't want the boots to turn black.
Yeah.
You just want to bring that bright color down a little bit.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah, but it wasn't very difficult. Just a little black shoe polish.
Oh, that's another thing. Sorry, the short trooper is so much different than what I'm used to. The shoulders, I'm used on the clones, especially the animated clones. I'm used to having them the shoulders are pretty thick because you have that insert that goes in there to sit it up right off.
Right.
So the shoulders on the short trooper, they just go straight down your arm, nothing on the inside, and it's just a strap. Okay.
No, have you seen my the short trooper video I made this year for the?
I don't think so.
I did a walkthrough of the short trooper captain CRL.
Okay.
All the short trooper CRLs are basically the same, so you'll get something out of it even if you're not doing a captain. And I also do a part where I put the whole thing on from beginning to end, and you'll see like how my shoulders and everything are set up.
Okay.
Like strapping, and I cover most of that stuff. If you on the forum, there's a link to it in the Short Trooper HQ. There's also a link to it on our Facebook page, it's the Pathfinder Facebook, and it's also on the 501st YouTube. So you should be able to find it.
Okay. That'll be good. Yeah,
maybe somebody could throw the link in the chat.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for right now. Hang on.
Awesome.
And I was reading that to not work on your arms or your biceps until you have your undershirt, because you don't want it to be too tight.
Yeah, biceps especially you have to kind of know how to size them.
Yeah.
How to close them, how much to close them up. Because when you put that ABS paste on there, that's forever. That's a commitment.
That's one of the nice things about the clones is that it's such a form-fitting undersuit that you can get those biceps a little bit closer or whatever with not having to worry so much about that. So I could just sit there and just form it right up to it. But I've ordered my stuff off of my shirt and my pants off of the Dark Side Closet.
Okay.
So I'm just waiting for those to come in. So I'm just waiting to do arms until I get here.
The good thing about the Short Trooper, like that sweater thing, is that it does a lot of the work of keeping your stuff in place. You don't have to worry about it sliding up and down because that sweater kind of grips it, especially if you've closed it up, right.
Yeah, that's good to know, because I like on my clone undersuit, I've put Velcro patches so that when I slide up, even if I have the strapping, I slide it up and then it locks in place so it doesn't twist around on me.
Yeah,
like
I
that.
really don't think you'll have that problem with the short trooper.
Okay.
Yeah, we have the same issue with the Scout where the arm pieces kind of go up and down your arm, but with the short trooper, that sweater really with the friction kind of really locks them in.
That's really good to know.
Okay. Who else? Who else got questions? We got answers. I
I
think.
got a question.
What up?
On my pouches on my Scout, like they hang too low. Is there a way to raise them up after I put them on?
Is it the are the pouches connected to what are they connected to?
They're connected to the cummerbund. They are all the way on top in the little seam.
Now
me see.
with mine, the pouches are connected to the cummerbund.
Yes.
Then the back of my cummerbund has a strip of Velcro on it, and then it connects to a Velcro on my flight suit, and that really keeps the stuff from sliding down, especially if you put like your cell phone or your wallet inside the pouches.
Well, no, I think I just feel like the pouches hang too low because I guess my torso's weirdly shaped. Whenever I put the armor on, I just feel like just the pouches themselves hang a little too low. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Right. Okay, well, it depends on how your pouches come off like this. You know, you basically can get them off. Can you do that, or
No, mine are
with your
permanently
pouches?
attached.
They're permanently attached. Okay, well, that's probably what the problem is. You're probably because they're permanently attached. They probably need to be, like, say, for example, I've designed this so I can make it longer or shorter, depends on whoever's wearing it. But there's your cummerbund. So, for example, depends on the size of the person. You need to either unpick it and bring your pouch up so it doesn't droop. That's what the problem is. And it looks pretty easy to fix it. Like, that's probably what you want, whereas you're probably getting something that's drooping, and there would be your chest piece, and you got the droop, and it's feeling uncomfortable. Yeah. So look, all I would suggest is attaching whatever you do behind you can't see. Okay, so because it's connected to this, attach another piece, hide it, put it at the back. Even do a couple if you change your mind. So, for example, you want it longer or shorter, depending on what you've got on. Summer, winter, you do change your clothes if you've got an extra layer. Add another Velcro, or if you're going to have your keys in there, just as Nikki says, a lot of people put stuff in, and it does add extra weight.
Yeah.
Make it so it doesn't droop as well. I have straps that you can't see, but again, you can Velcro it to your.
I have it Velcro. The drooping part's not the problem. It was just where the pouch was sitting after I put on my arm. That's what I don't like. Is where the pouch
you just need to be able to move it around, take it off, move it around. Another thing too, if you do create to take them off and on, put a left and a right. It's happened. You put it on. Oh, it's back to front. Sorry, but yeah, left, right on it. But yeah, look, once it's like this, you can rearrange them, move them over a bit. It's visible flexibility.
Right. Yeah, that's a good idea. I'm gonna have to do that then.
I think. I mean, with the Scout, I think everybody could benefit from pulling things up more. I think people have a tendency to let things ride down closer to their hips, and with the Scout, I just feel like the more you bring things up, the better overall the costume looks.
That's how
I feel. Down, you're not going to see.
Hang too low. I don't like the way it looks. Yeah.
I would try just reorienting things maybe, and just without seeing you in costume, it's a little hard for me to be able to like pinpoint. I mean, but just from what you're saying, you could give it a shot. Just try bring up the position, or see if you can get your chest armor to come up a little bit. Some people let the chest armor sit too low. That kind of forces everything else to kind of. It's like a domino effect.
Right.
And I don't know what do you know? What armor do you have?
Studio Creations.
Is it the new kit or the old kit? Do you know? Because the older kit I think had a wider chest or a longer chest than the new one.
I got it about I got it when they did the run
big-
for Jason.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
so those were the
That's the new
newer
set.
ones. That's the new set. Okay. I don't know. It could just be that it's sitting. The chest is sitting down too low, and it's bringing everything else down.
Everything down.
I always tell people, as a rule of thumb, the chest is like a bra. You should think of it that way. Like it should
Right.
stop
Bring it
at the
down.
bottom of your pectorals. You know, it's not really supposed to be covering your chest. It's kind of misnamed. It's more like pec armor. I mean, I have a picture of from the set of Return of the Jedi. I guess it was like Carrie Fisher fooling around between takes, and she's like got this scout trooper in her arms, and she's giving him a kiss on the cheek, and it's a very close-in shot, right? I mean, it's very tight, and the trooper's entire chest armor from top to bottom is in that shot. Like that's how small those things
Yeah, they are very small.
You know, they weren't like real big. So I don't know.
And bring that cummerbund up.
Yeah, bring the bund up, bring your belt up, just see it and see if that helps.
Right.
You got a few things you can play with. So it's not, you can do a lot of stuff to it. We're here. If you feel that, bring it up, or you need to just rearrange your pouches, do that. Make yourself feel comfortable, because once you look good, you troop better, you feel better.
Yeah.
But yeah, try everything.
Right.
There's all sorts of things you can try.
And you can stick a bunch of stuff in your pouches,
Mhm.
like trading cards.
That you can't get out with your gloves, because
Yeah, because it's all
Right.
yeah,
fat fingers and like.
yeah. You just tell the kids, hey, just reach in there.
Just grab 3. Take as many as you want. I got 3,000 of them at home.
Right.
Take them all. Here.
One for everybody in the family.
Right. Oh, that reminds me. Does everybody get their trading card requests in? Because
I gotta submit mine.
I'm getting pretty tired of making them, so I'm about ready to pack it up for the year. I've done about 40 so far this year, so that's like a record.
Still got my old ones.
Yeah.
I got heaps of them, so they're still there.
Yeah, I know. That's just it. It's like you get excited about them, you get a big pack of them, and it's like you have them forever.
Ever.
And you forget,
Forever.
you got them in the car, you've got them
Yeah,
in bags.
I mean, you just do anything to get rid of them. You stick them in Christmas cards, just whatever it takes.
Merry Christmas from the Scout family.
Yeah. Here's
Okay.
5 trading cards. So
And your time you need them, you forgot you don't have them. Why do you not have any to give you some?
people have been asking me, because when I send them the trading card files, like they ask me like general advice, and I'm like, my advice to you is to get like 250 of them. Like you might be tempted to buy 2,000. Don't do it.
And when you've got umpteen costumes from different detachments, you're like, I've got too many now. I don't know
Yeah.
what to do with them.
Yeah. When I did the shirt run, the racing shirt run, I just put like 2 in every shirt that went out the door. Anyway, hey, I see Darren Moser. Are you just hanging out with us, or are you actually seriously considering becoming a Pathfinder?
It's probably, I'm not really actively making a costume now, but if it was making something that's meant to be worn, it would probably be a scout. They've always looked interesting to me, and sitting is nice, as I'm sure you get
Yeah.
a lot.
Sitting's great. I love it. Especially, my back hurts. I get tired easily now. So yeah, sitting's wonderful. Well, it's awesome. If whether you're here to hang out or just or learn, it's nice to see you, man.
Yeah, thanks. I was trying to see if I could convince people that my background's not a virtual background. That's always fun.
The fan was the giveaway. I don't know if
Oh.
anybody would put a fan in their virtual.
That's true.
Oh, yeah, that's the fan.
Yeah, and K2's chilling over there.
Ah, that's cool. I like that.
with his
Yeah, that thing is
beanie.
amazing. I love that thing so much.
Well, he'll have a
But
couple
he-
more
he's
tricks
better in
by
person.
celebration. So
Awesome.
I love your wall.
yeah, these are cabinets. So I built
Oh, you're
these so
joking.
so they can store all my stuff in them.
That's so good.
This is our garage that we've never parked a car in, so it's my workshop / office. And
I want photos.
Oh my God, that's my daughter screaming. Everybody, don't worry.
she's just excited about the
Everything's
doors.
normal.
I'm excited about the doors.
But yeah.
Okay, who else?
Very cool.
Who else is in here? Let's see. Hey, Joe. What's going on?
Hey man, what's going on, guys?
How are you?
Good to see y'all.
How's tricks?
What's that?
I said, how's tricks? How's things?
It's good, man. A little bit of a heat wave came through here. It's not too bad. Got a little bit of a tan going on now, so it is what it is.
Okay. You have any questions tonight, or are you just hanging out?
I'm just hanging out.
Awesome.
What's up? Yep.
Nothing. That's why we're doing this. If anything was up, we wouldn't be here. It's Friday night, man.
How dirty can you go on your short trooper before you've gone too far?
That's a good question, because most people don't go dirty enough.
I think we still need to see the Sahara beige. I think that
it
would be
looks
the
more like
the
a death
qualifier.
trooper.
There you go.
It's-
That's what Melody just said.
So, because I mean,
it looks okay. It's hard to tell,
yeah, it's,
with this light. And I know it's really deceptive, the short trooper, because you weather it and you think it looks great, and then you take a picture of it and it looks like you just
Brand
came
new.
right out of the cardboard packing.
It's brand new.
I mean, I had to. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good.
okay,
I think that looks pretty good.
okay.
Whenever I do my weathering, I recommend having like pictures of like the screen used, like side by side, right when we're doing them. That you can really gauge like where you are and where it should be.
Yeah.
Because sometimes people are working off of memory of what they thought it looked like, but having a side by side picture really helps. At least it helps me.
I know, same. When I was redoing my short trooper for my Vanguard application, I had that short trooper captain, that production, like I had that on my phone at all times, just zooming in and trying to match the weathering pattern on that. And I think with the short trooper, what you really want to do is just make sure you hit those creases hard. Like really get the dirt built up in there. I think a lot of people just do a general sort of like black wash and then call it a day. And that's what doesn't quite work.
I usually use a brown and a black. I use the Vallejo model washes, and I have a brown and a black one that I figure, okay, well, the brown will kind of simulate mud and stuff like that, and then the black is grime and grease and whatever. And I try to use a little bit of both of them on there.
Well, I used cheap ass paints from Michael's that are 99 cents. And
I did it from Hobby Lobby.
And I would just literally, what I did was I would paint them on to the creases, and then I would get a bottle of rubbing alcohol and some paper towels, and I would use that to kind of back off the paint a little bit and kind of, smear it in so it didn't look just like paint. That to really, really make the creases dirty. That's what I did. I think you do a kind of a general black wash to sort of bring down the shine of not the shine, but the Sahara beigeness, and then really, really attack the creases.
And then when you're done, so what I did on my clone after I was done is I sealed it in with a clear matte spray paint to really kind of help take the shining off there like that. Would you recommend the same thing on the short trooper, just to use it, seal everything in and just kind of take that shine off of it?
I didn't do it for mine. Joe, Melody, did you guys?
I thought about doing it, but I just got lazy, and I figured the more real world weathering, the better. So
Yeah.
I was like, it's done. I got approved. I'm just gonna leave it be.
So I did do a clear flat coat. I don't recommend it. Two things happened to it. It gave it a little bit of a sheen. Even though it was like a matte clear coat, it gave it more of a sheen than it had with just the base paint. And another thing that happened was it toned down the weathering. So after I took pictures and everything, I noticed I was looking at my armor. I was like, man, that looks really clean. And I noticed that it was, so I had to redo the weathering afterwards. I don't recommend it. I mean, you can do it if you want, but I regret doing it.
I've done a lot of weathering on different armor and helmets and stuff like that. And the thing that really makes weathering work is that, the dirt and the grime you're going to get, if it was used in like a real situation, is going to have a different tone than the base color. And when you clear coat over all of that, it makes everything sort of that's what Joe's saying. It kind of makes everything a uniform sheen to it. So even if it's like ultra matte and it's all ultra matte, your weathering is now the exact same sort of look as your base color, which in real life it would never be. So your eye like sees it and it looks kind of weird. It kind of just looks like you basically put a clear coat over the dirt, which you did.
Yeah.
So I've never really been a fan of doing a clear coat overing sort of the weathering wash. If you're trying to make it look like sort of a realistic battle, sort of screen used like type weathering, I just sort of stick with the acrylics over the base paint.
Nice. All right, I'm gonna find somebody else to pick on. Let's see, Jonathan Wavel. How do you say that?
Oh, no, you got it, Wavel.
Wavel,
no,
how are
it's
you?
all good. I'm good. Thanks for you guys for hosting one of these.
Where are you joining us from?
I mean, I'm actually up in Central Coast, so up here near Vandenberg Air Force, now Space Force Base. So I'm former active duty Air Force, and now I'm doing the whole guard deal out in Southern California, but I'm still up here. And I actually got my short trooper kit because I do the conventions all the time. It's not a convention until you see like 501st. That's always in my kind of opinion. So I just get like other Marvel stuff and things kind of more less fully encumbered, if you will. But after Rogue One, I thought, well, shoot, this is I found the thing that works for me. Plus, I keep hearing everyone who has one, you can actually sit, which sounds amazing because I haven't been to conventions. That's a nice quality, a trait to have with your costume.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually got one of the 850 armor kits that's pre-assembled, but I have to admit the quality might have been one of the first ones because the helmet looks a little iffy. Everything else kind of seems like it's usable, but this last year with COVID, I got into 3D printing, and I finally found Sean Field's short trooper files, and I thought, well, shoot, why not just try 3D printing a bucket and just give that a shot?
Yeah.
So I've gotten all the parts printed off, and I think it's sized right. Now it's just a matter of go through that. I was just kind of curious to know what the policy is when it comes to 3D printing, because I know most requirements are usually vacuum form. I don't know if the requirements have changed over the years, given the quality and keep, if you will, because I realize that it all comes down to quality when it,
Oh no, 3D printing is totally fine as long as the pieces and the design matches our screen references.
Of course.
And with the Shore Trooper especially, that costume really came up when 3D printing was going big. So we have a ton of 3D printed Shore Troopers.
That's awesome.
So I mean, my first bucket was 3D printed. I did the Shore Trooper officer from Battlefront 2, and I have parts of my costume for that are 3D printed. So it's
nice.
fine. It's totally fine.
Cool.
But, as long as the pieces are right. The problem we have with the Scout, especially, is we have a lot of designers out there that think they know what they're doing. And
Really?
you know,
Okay.
and then and then people get the models, print them out, and then submit, and it's like, no, because you have this, this, and this. So just because, you know, a model exists in the world doesn't mean it can pass, you know, 501st. But Sean, I mean, he's in the Legion, so.
Yeah, no, I figured. I mean, it seems like when I was originally looking for the files, everyone kept on pointing, saying, you know, that's the way to go. And I thought, well, shoot, I mean, these are already out there, and they're, you know, it's as long as you, you know, follow it and print it off, and then you do the, you know, the appropriate process of assembling and prepping and painting. I'm hoping to just match it to fit with the original armor I have. I mean, I realize that, because again, I was really, if you will, hesitant, kind of scared to jump into it without having that. Well, will I cut them out right? You know, the vacuum form pieces, and will I paint them right? Well, you know, this downtime is going to give me a chance. Like, well, that's okay to get it wrong, because they can just, you know, work on it, improve it. And there's all these resources out here. So
yeah,
I'm hoping to maybe with the old bucket, maybe since I'm personally not as on top of the quality with it, I think it was really a little lacking, unfortunately. Like, now that I'm getting behind 3D printing, I realize, wow, you can do a lot of great things if you really want to. And no, nothing against 850, you know, Armor Works and what they did. It's just I think that what I would like to do with mine is a little more, you know, cleaner maybe, but I realize there's a lot of weathering concerns on it. It's just more like the cleanliness of the mold and cleanliness of like the, you know, the parts that look like it might have been a little chunkier maybe than it really should have been.
850's also done a couple versions of the Trooper by now, I think.
Okay, this had to be one of their first ones, because I'm just looking at it and realize, like, yeah, even just like the visor definitely looks very different, just the eye pieces. So I'm thinking that really, if I do anything with that bucket, I'm probably just gonna. I've seen so many variations of custom paint jobs that have, like, you know, shark teeth, if you will, along like the kind of jaw sections there. I realize that that's not official by any means, but just if I want to have one bucket for, you know, non-official, you know, reasons, I probably want to, like,
a convention or something.
Yeah, I probably just want to add that there, because it just, you know, like you see the kind of motif you see usually on the side of like an A10, you know, that kind of like those jaws, yeah, something like that. Because I've seen a lot of artwork out there, and a few of them that really just look beautiful. And I thought, I've never seen one of these in person yet, and I imagine if they're out there, it's just, you know.
I mean, definitely none of that is approvable for 501st purposes and official troops, but you want to wear something like that at a convention, go for it, man. We see all kinds of cool stuff. Justin did a scout, samurai scout.
Oh, wow.
It looked great. Yeah. 3D printed samurai scout. It was awesome.
I mean,
not approvable, but awesome.
I'm just curious, how many custom armor kits do you usually have? I understand that the whole point of 501st is you have the one kit that for the whatever specific, you know, group you're going to be within, you want to make sure it's up to par and it hits all the criteria. But is it common to have, you know, some variation parts just to sort of have that unofficial, if you want to have that, or is that just really, you know, not that common to see?
It depends. I mean, some troopers are here to do Star Wars and troop and call it a day and go home, and some of us are cosplayers.
Yeah.
That, you know, make other costumes, not just Star Wars. And so it just depends what your interests are, you know.
I mean, for all the folks who are here, I'm kind of curious, how many of you guys have kits outside of the shore trooper? And if you do, like, what's, you know, are they, you know, are they regimented to the other garrisons, or is it
well, we're the you know, since we're the path, there we go.
Yes.
So I think most of us in command anyway, we're scouts. Well, most of us are scouts, scouts and shore troopers. Those are like the probably the most popular in the Pathfinder detachment. No, we have others.
Yeah, well,
there's the variations too. It's sometimes people will have different shoulder bells, and so they'll be like red, white, and blue for, you know, 4th of July. They'll be pink for breast cancer awareness.
Right.
Yeah, so you can decorate different shoulder bells, which would be easy to do for the shore trooper, for different events, not official events, like parades and whatnot. Official 501st events
Look, everybody's
have to be very strict with what you wear. So
right.
I've made a what do you call it, a mashup of an Ewok and a scout. Because I make Ewoks. I've got like 33 costumes altogether. 16 are all Star Wars, but and I'm a gamer. So, but yeah, I had one day I went to a con and had I made the cummerbund with hair popping out. And so yeah, so it was a bit of a mashup of an Ewok pitching a scout's armor and wearing it. So that was fun.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for cosplay, so knock yourself out. But for our purposes here, we're here to help you make an accurate approved
Yeah.
501st, costumes. So, that's what the purpose of this armor party is. But yeah, dude, I mean, I do Fallout, Indiana Jones. I have.
Oh, nice! I can see it.
I have a bunch of interests. So, besides just scouts, although it doesn't seem like it, but I really do.
And, has there been any conventions that have been opened up? Because everything I've been hearing about seems to have been kept on pushing back to the right. I know that the Star Wars Celebration, is that going to be occurring in 2021 back in Orange County, or is that still kind of
It'll be next May?
Next May, okay.
So it was initially next August when they pushed it 2 years out, and then they backed it up to end of May 2022.
May.
So
if you don't mind me asking, did they list the date for May 2022?
yes, I can give you the exact date.
Memorial Day weekend, right?
The
Yeah, I believe
celebration
so.
is the 26th through the 29th.
You can come hang out in the front, but I doubt you'll get tickets unless you buy them off somebody else.
Which could happen. I mean,
Yeah,
a lot of people
there's a
were
lot of people
upset about
still-
the date change.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that. I'm actually getting married the weekend before, so I'm glad that it all meshed up.
This was one of my favorite patches someone made.
Oh, neat.
Of the canceled 2020.
Oh man, that's great.
That's funny.
We'll laugh about it later when it's funny. But
Yeah. I don't think we've totally gotten there.
All the major conventions in Southern California that I've been seeing have been pushed to December.
yeah, it looks like everyone's banking on this winter season. Like you got Comic-Con Revolution, you have a lot of stuff starting up, but I don't see why not. I mean, we're kind of swinging that way, so.
I mean, in the LA squad area, I know that we've got December 3rd through the 5th is LA Comic Con. And then that's at the LA Convention Center. And then at the LAX Marriott in December 10th through the 12th is going to be Empire Con. So those are the only ones that have been listed that are in person for the year, at least in my squad area.
And can I just point out that we had this meeting scheduled for this time so we could bring in some more overseas folks, and everybody here almost is from LA.
Oh. Well, our cons, same as you guys, have been moved. A couple have been cancelled. I think Perth, I think Supernova, we got it here in Melbourne. We're very lucky in May. Oz Comic Con's been moved to November. We've still got PAX coming. We don't tend to do PAX, but people do dress up, but we do have Oz Comic Con. But yeah, we're in the same boat. Basically, it's sort of like you see one state gets that con and we're like, yay, let's get out. And all of a sudden there's a lockdown and then another one gets cancelled.
Yeah.
But yeah, ours are all being moved.
I think everybody's hedging their bets that the end of the year will be better.
I don't know what's going on in DC, but because apparently our big con is in the end of August and it's still on. So
okay.
Well, we'll see what happens.
Motor City Comic Con out here is October, mid-October. So yeah.
It's quite entertaining considering I always figured that the 501st were probably for the most part all the trooper kits were probably the most COVID compliant costumes out of everything you could ever see at a convention. So I already got a full mask and you already get gloves for the most part.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see because I know when they announced the date for Celebration and moved it, they also were talking about how at the moment they were saying, basically no buckets, like no, but I think after the initial uproar for like 2 seconds, most people thought, well, it's still a ways away. Like
Yeah.
they got to say that now, but
Now.
I really don't
Mhm.
see that being the case by May. I
Well,
really don't.
there's some other trade shows coming up in Orange County at the convention center, normal like industry kind of trade shows, and there's no masks required for any of those. And so
Yeah.
I can't imagine Celebration will do it because Orange County doesn't require it. The convention center doesn't require it. So if they required it for one event, it would be really odd.
Yeah. Especially
and
one where everybody's wearing masks anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, it felt like because mask mandates were in effect when they made the announcement of the date, like you had to say it.
Yeah.
But we all
Yeah.
knew like it's easier to say it and roll it back than it is to not say it and roll it forward.
For sure.
I don't think people realize that the actual evil, nefarious organizations that are running the world are insurance companies.
Oh yeah.
That's what people are really scared of.
Well, that's because why
So
when
they
all this
have
started,
they have to say these things because
well,
they want to be insured.
when all this started, a couple of those cons wouldn't get canceled because if they canceled them, then they don't get the insurance money, and
That's
so they had to
right.
wait till
Right.
the city or the state said no, you can't.
Like
do
we
it.
all knew they were canceled.
Yeah.
But it was literally
Exactly.
like 2 weeks before, and they're like, "Oh, the city said we can't do
Yeah.
it because of the insurance." Yeah,
Right, exactly. It's always that. So I'm not worried about next May. I think it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, I'm sort of been out of the periphery, but what kind of, have you guys been able to do other events in person just for trooping? Has that sort of been?
That's
I mean-
starting back up.
Okay, cool.
That's starting back up. A lot of folks did the July 4th parades.
Oh,
Me,
nice.
It's too hot.
I
Tustin wasn't bad. The parade route was all shaded.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Nice and shaded.
Nice.
We did May the 4th down here because we were fairly lucky. We did that locally in Melbourne. A whole lot of the 501st were asked by Disney, so we did a May the 4th, and I think a few other states may have done it as well. So that's how early we started.
Awesome. I don't feel like was there much for May 4th here? I don't feel like there was.
No, they I think Disney just worked out which country was opening up, who was in lockdown, and they just sort of judged it because there was a few events that we were going to do with Disney and they cancelled. But May the 4th looked good, so I was like, yay. Good turnout.
Nice. I still have yet to troop.
Hey, you came out to the armor party. You got dressed for that.
And it was hot. Ooh.
Yeah,
Jeez, it was hot.
Yeah. Whatever. You got Leia to get dressed up, so
Yeah, she loved it. She really loved it. She loved sitting on the bike.
gotta build her like a 3rd scale.
I'd like to get one of those ones that Jeff Parks had for his daughter. He had found one of the vintage ones from like the 80s that were like for little kids. And he
Those the ones on the treehouse that was like suspended underneath the treehouse.
It might be, but
Do you remember those?
He had it on wheels, and he would pull his daughter at conventions.
Oh, crazy!
Yeah, it was really cool. This was a long time ago. It was like when I first started, and his daughter was like Leia's age, 3 or 4, and she had a little scout costume, and he would pull her on this little speeder bike toy from like the 80s or something that he had found like at a yard sale or something.
Didn't I thought I just saw an article that United Wheels UK got a license deal with Lucasfilm to produce more speeder bike kid bikes. Did you see that, Mick?
No. I'm surprised if someone hasn't posted that up in the speeder bike group.
Yeah, I see it. It's the United Wheels UK signed a licensing deal with Lucasfilm to bring back the kind of like that little pedal powered one you had in the 80s.
That might be the bike that I'm thinking about.
Some guy had one at the Tustin parade. Actually, it was one of those little electric bikes. It had like a cover over it for his little speeder bike. That was pretty cool, actually. He was doing donuts around the Razor Crest.
Oh no, Corey, that's not it. That's not. I'll see if I can find a pic. I remember this, but that's not the bike.
Yeah, that's what I was remembering.
Yeah, that thing's rad.
Well, I always wanted one. I did
There's-
not get one.
There's that article. It has a picture of the old bike. That's probably the one you're thinking of.
Let me see.
It's like a tricycle, basically.
That might be it. Does anybody have any build questions, or are we just going to talk about 80s toys for the rest of the night? I mean, I'm good with that too. I'm here for it. So
I was curious on the Biker Scout, is the weathering just black spray paint?
Yep.
it is just black spray paint. That is all it is.
Yep.
Of course you can. Come here, Peanut.
Yeah, it's like black spray paint, and then you take like a chopstick or something kind of pointy, and you like scrape it a little bit, and you get the little marks on there.
Okay.
That's all it is.
Okay.
Cool.
Nice and easy.
Yeah.
Nothing ever meant to be seen in high def.
No. But yeah, it's just black spray paint.
I have a technical question.
What's that?
I said I have a technical question. I wanted other people, because my armor's already approved.
Let's hear it.
My question is, I've got the redheaded stepchild of the group. I have the silver Rebels Scout, and it is very, very tiny. So on the bucket, I actually have to open it up and then put it on backwards around my neck and then flip the cover down. So there's zero ventilation in there, and because it's a naturally small helmet, there's not a whole lot of some of the fans that I've bought do not fit in there. So I don't know. No. I can literally wear it for about 10 minutes, and it's fogged up so bad that I can't see out of it. So
Let me ask two parts to this question. One is do you just want to get rid of the fogging, or do you want to cool off too?
both. Yeah.
Both. The cooling off is a little trickier. With the fogging, you can try stuff like they use for like scuba dive masks and stuff like that. They have that it's like an oily stuff. You might want to test it on a piece of lens before you use it on your real lens. But it's called like cat's crap, I think.
Okay.
You use it for like swim goggles basically, but it puts like an oily film, and that keeps it from fogging up too much if you can't put fans. That won't help you if you're still hot, but at least you can see.
True. Do you know if they make do you have any recommendations for smaller helmet fans that I may be able to find? Because I'm finding just the normal ones that are in the TKs.
Yeah.
Those won't fit in it.
You might want to go to Justin. Sorry, please.
No, I was going to say they make some low profile laptop fans, and they make them as small as about 5 millimeter. You'll have to check the voltage to see how you wire them up, but they make them super, super thin, and you might be able to put them up in the front area where you have extra space right here. So if you mount them in the front of the faceplate, you should be able to find a little space. Let me see if I can find at least what I'm talking about.
Yeah, there's a guy in my garrison named Henry that does a bunch of fans and custom ones too, and he also has some pretty small ones. I'll try and find a link for you to be in contact with him, because sometimes he'll even run a pipe up through into the bucket. So let me find his contact info for you.
That's how the Imperial Guards do theirs. Their fans are down here, and they pump up through tubing into the helmet. So they basically blow the air around here, but the fans and the assembly is down in the chest piece.
Good idea.
That's smart. I didn't think about that.
I think you will need a bigger fan though. If you want to put this stuff down, if the air has to go further, you need a bigger fan. So the even the little laptop ones aren't going to do it if you're going to mount them like down here.
Yeah, and I'm sure the larger the fan, the more power it's going to eat. But
again, you can always put your battery pack in your back or in your front, and you can have a much bigger battery if it's outside of your helmet, and just cable it up and put a little like release plug.
True. I mean, the chest piece for the Rebel Scout is smaller than the
normal one.
Yeah, so if I was a boy, there'd be more room there, but
is there room in the tank?
the tank is a solid piece.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's completely seamless, so it's all one piece on the back. I mean,
you can't drill inside it and make it so you can put something in there.
Sure, I could, but now like it's all approved and painted and everything. It's one of those things where I'm afraid that I'll drill into it and chip the paint because I've already had a bunch of parts, like especially on my helmet. I can't tell you how many patch-up jobs I've done on it, but yeah, she's an odd bird, but she's very temperamental, and I like to leave her alone unless she's needed.
Well, I'm kind of curious concerning like the short trooper kits. Is it are those kind of is it really common to have both, a mic and a fan system? Or again, I understand it's all maybe circumstantial or preference of the user, but is that kind of one of the buckets that's, let's say, easier to get by without either or is it still just as preferable to have both?
You don't want a troop without a fan in your helmet.
Yeah.
Either you're going to fog up your lens, or it's just going to be so hot in there and uncomfortable. You can get away without using a microphone, but it's more fun. It kind of adds to the play of it, especially if you have a sound effect, to distort your voice a little bit, and then you have a little mic pop after you're done talking. So there's plenty of room in the shore.
Can you fit in your helmet, and why not more?
Exactly.
So I have 2 fans in my helmet, a wireless mic, and a kill switch for the fan, and the battery for the fan, all inside my helmet, plus a couple old prescription glasses lenses taped in there so I can see.
Oh, smart.
No, that's cool. I've done that with a couple of other costumes.
Yeah.
I've been pretty lucky. I've never had to have any fans. I wear my glasses. I got the Studio Creations helmet. The crop circle one, even though it was big, couldn't fit my glasses. And the lens was horrible, but Studio Creations is great. I can wear my glasses. I don't fog up. But then again, our weather is, we have extremely hot summers, but we do have extremely cold winters. But I've been fairly lucky. I think all of us here in the Scouts, the family, we've never been lucky enough not to have to worry about fans. Mind you, I would like it in some other costumes, but in our Scout ones, and we've all got Studio Creation helmets. Never needed the fans.
I'll never forget one of my troops that I did was for the movie premiere of one of the newer Star Wars movies, and we got the troop for one of the screenings, and so everybody was coming out, and it was a nice and cool evening, so I didn't have my fans on because I didn't need it. But then I realized they're all going to start talking about what just happened in the movie that I haven't seen yet, so I turned the fans on as quick as I could to try and deafen my ears a little bit so I didn't hear all the spoilers. So there is an advantage to having the fans.
Actually, I'm curious, is it ever common to even have a microphone so you can kind of actually hear outside the bucket, or is it just more you're used to having to lean in and kind of just,
So some people have the hearing assist. There is like a hearing assist like kit you can get, and some people do use that.
Oh, fascinating.
It's less common than the mics and the fans, but some people do use it. Yeah.
TK Cowboy, would you mind muting yourself if you're not speaking? I think we're getting a lot of background. There we go. Oh, I think it was just rustling against the mic.
Is that what that was?
Now it's.
Hey guys, this is Joe. I'm driving, so I'm not on video, but I got a question about the flight suit. As far as Velcro, I'm not a good sewer. Can you use glue to keep the Velcro on, or is that not recommended?
What are we talking about, Scout or any of the
It's for a Scout.
Look, I've seen a lot of people use, I've seen from staples to hot glue to glue, but my recommendation, if you care for how expensive your flight suit is, and being able to take something off and put it back on again, sewing it. But I've seen a lot of places where you can take something in and they'll sew it for a couple of dollars. I would suggest to sew it. If worst case scenario and it's your only option, glue it. But sewing is the best way to go.
Bring it to the armor party and we'll sew it for you.
Yeah. Hand sewing is really easy. Even if you look on YouTube, you've done a sewing machine, doesn't matter. I know a girlfriend, she's got umpteen costumes and every single one's hand sewn. Just look on YouTube and it's easy to hand sew.
Go on.
I was gonna say if you're gonna do the Velcro with a needle and thread and hand sew it, get yourself a thimble.
Yes.
Because your thumb will thank you later, because pushing through that Velcro a couple of hundred times to sew that thing, it's gonna hurt after a while. So get a metal thimble, and then it shouldn't be too bad. But yeah, I mean, will glue work? Yeah, probably for a little while. And as you rip the stuff off and put it back on again, I mean, at some point it's just going to tear off, and then you have to sew through glue and fabric and Velcro.
It'll wreck your sewing machine, it'll wreck your needle. If you have to sew through glue, that's it. You might as well just it'll get wrecked.
So as MJ says, go with sewing if you can.
Well, and if it's Velcro, those parts are hidden. It doesn't have to look good. It just has to be functional.
Yeah.
Plus, it's a good way to learn how to sew.
And then get a cheap sewing machine too, mate. Like you can get them here for not very expensive, secondhand, and just to sew a straight stitch, it's easy as. But it's not as hard as what you think. But yeah, you get them quite cheap, or make friends with somebody that has one.
Yeah, I never did any sewing in my life until I started in this crazy hobby. So, I mean, it's really not that hard.
Even for the simple stuff.
Just to do simple stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not making a wedding dress.
No.
I'm putting Velcro on stuff.
Straight stitch, easy.
Yeah.
Yep. And the money you spend on the sewing machine, you'll make it back with the Velcro you sew on within, a month of having to have paid someone for it. So I mean, it's money well invested.
Yeah.
I picked up a sewing machine on OfferUp for $20, and it's like been a lifesaver. So I learned how to use it and everything that one. So it's definitely worth it.
Yeah, it's so much easier to do it yourself. It's faster and it's not that hard.
And YouTube is easy if you get stuck with threading a sewing machine or a bobbin. Just go on YouTube, check out, say which machine you've got. And a lot of machines do come with DVDs to show you how to thread and everything. So it's not that hard. And if you have a troublesome time, if you're on Facebook, social media, you get into a group, oh God, I don't know what's doing this, and bang, you'll get all these people saying all these solutions, and you just try it. And all it is really, if you have a problem sewing and it gets stuck or jammed up, like you guys know what it's like, pull the bobbin out, pull the thread out, redo the whole lot, and like anything else, clean your machine. Sometimes it's something so simple. So, hello, I've got a beautiful little face there, so cute. I don't know, but yeah, you can do it. Get a sewing machine. And we're all here for you to hand, but the internet's great for information.
And like I said, we can always do it at the next armor party.
Yes, I have done so many armor parties. Yeah.
I can even bring my sewing machine to help out, Justin.
Hey.
I will do that.
I mean, I'm not going to get stuck sewing for people, me or Janice this time?
Nope.
Sounds good.
I give people unpicking. I give the boys the unpicking. You got to unpick those pockets. Go for it.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I'm doing the sewing. They hate me.
Yep.
Now you guys said it's better to use the Velcro without the glue to sew it on, right? Because it'll be easier.
Yeah.
Get the special, like the fabric Velcro, not the adhesive Velcro. Yeah.
You just have without the teeth in the back, right? Okay. Yeah.
It's a good way to break needles.
And there are different types of Velcro. Some are really thick, like the guy said, if you hand sew some through, they're so thick you need a thimble. But there are thinner Velcros that you can sew a little bit easier. So it depends on where you are. If it's easy for you to go to a shop, you can gauge what Velcros. There are the cheaper type that won't last that long. You put in the wash and they just disintegrate. But yeah, just have a quick look. You can feel them when you know they're a little bit better than others. And the price does tend to give a bit of a hint. Have we all gone quiet again?
Yeah.
I'm curious, how often you guys have in-person armor parties? Like just like once a month or like every 2 months? Like what do you guys usually try to aim for?
Personally, when things are normal, we usually have them about every 3 to 4 months, I think.
Same here.
Yeah, and our garrison or even our squads tend to host bigger armor parties. We've taken to just hosting Pathfinder parties because I like the Pathfinder people better. Sounds awful, but
for good reason.
Yeah, and I mean, it's easier to dedicate to 3 or 4 costumes and not have to know 50. And so we can very much just say, hey, okay, these are the people, you're all building scouts, we'll have 3 or 4 of you, and it's easier to go through and show people that kind of stuff. And so it's every 3 to 4 months we try to have one, and it's mostly an excuse for us to get together and yeah, just hang out. Like, I think this last party we had, a few weeks back, was probably one of the first where people were actually building new costumes.
You built? My God.
I know, strange. Usually people just come over to play with the dogs and sit around and eat all day.
I mean,
they have their kits in the car.
Yeah. I mean, I that's interesting. I never realized that there was that much. One of the previous groups I was with, I think, was the Mando Murders, because when I was abroad, they're one of the few folks that kind of welcome me in, because being military, it's kind of like it's not easy to find a lot of geeks that are this, end of the spectrum where it's like you devote time, energy, money to wanting to bring these things to life. So, there were a few of the few folks who brought me in out there, because I think the 501st out there, they're still relatively new too, but they're just, I was just curious, and I even have just a Mando bucket, but that's the only thing I have close to even being built. But otherwise than that, I mean, how often do you guys do like the garrison actually just come together? And it sounds like I understand it's a lot easier to focus on just certain key armor sets at a time, especially if that's ones that you're working on, you're more knowledgeable on, considering the level of knowledge you need for each one to be at the high fidelity. Is there much sort of infighting, or because I never have seen the 501st usually guys are hanging afterwards. I just sort of see them as an outside 501st person or in the costume community. Oh, that's just everyone in their 501st, jerseys or shirts, and they're all just, at one of the, Baskin Robbins or any of the things just nearby, and just doing big group kind of things. So I didn't realize there's that much sort of subgroups within. It's fascinating to kind of see that and hear that.
Well, I mean, this is a detachment meeting. So, I mean, we're specifically focused on costumes that fall under our detachment.
Of course.
We're all from different garrisons here. So, and as far as I know, I mean, I'm not like a garrison officer or anything, so I don't know all the, and garrisons are broken up into squads, and squads have armor parties. It really just depends where you live, It's just that when I say that we're having an armor party, it's because we have a Pathfinder group within our garrison. That's what I was talking about.
Of course.
The people in the garrison have armor parties. People in squads have armor parties. I mean, it's really depends on who has a house and wants to have people come over.
Of course, it's just all the main requirements right there. Just a need and a want and an audience. I was looking for folks up here, but there's a lot less up in Central Coast. I know there is a garrison, but I don't think they're as active as what you guys have been.
No, I'm not even sure I know many scouts up in that garrison, but
Golden Gate has a lot, but
Golden Gate has a lot. Yeah.
Central Coast is that weird. Honestly, I'm from Long Beach, so for me, the LA basin has been home perpetually. So it's interesting. I've never been up to Santa Barbara past that until I got stationed out here, and I'm realizing just how Golden Coast really is this sort of in between, that's sort of out of the way from LA proper. So I can definitely see it's a little more niche to kind of find other folks out here that are doing this. But I mean, I've found a variety of people that with the 405th, the Halo armor people, that are out here, but it's just really smatterings of individuals. So it's, LA is where all the big groups are.
Yeah. I mean, just by proximity of population. But I mean, are you on the Central Garrison website? Because if they had armor parties, that's where they would.
Oh, of course. No, I think because my original plan was before COVID was to move back down to Long Beach. So that just kind of delayed me moving down, because thankfully with my work, I can stay up here. So me and my wife haven't had a need to really kind of, move she's been working remote. So we're just up here. Honestly, with, before everything kind of started opening up, this is not a bad place to ride out COVID. I mean, it's been very quiet and green. So we've been just sort of enjoying this little area, but now this is when we're realizing, well, all right, that's fun, but now we got to get back to integrating into society as a whole and be more sociable. So that's why I'm trying to game plan with SoCal. LA is going to be the end goal for us. So that's kind of why I'm just focusing efforts there versus try to, make more roots up here, if you will. But I'm down there once a month doing drills at Los Alamitos Air Base, Arm Base. So
sure.
But if it ever syncs up and whatever weekend that we're down for drill and it's also Arm Party weekend, I'm happy to throw stuff in the car and just try to come out in the evening, just say hey in person.
Okay. I mean, Los Alamitos is kind of like in the middle of where we all are. So
yeah.
I mean, I'm up in Burbank, but Justin's all the way down in Santa Ana. So and we got, everything in between and beyond.
Nice. Well, no,
thanks so much, guys. Sorry, I'm going to make a move. The Australian is going. The only Australian. You guys haven't got much long anyway. Much long. No, it's been really good.
Yeah.
Thanks
for all the advice.
Yeah. Oh, thank you for having me. I hope it was okay.
No, you were great. And like I said, I always appreciate you picking up the night shift at the detachment, the graveyard shift. At least for us, it's the graveyard shift. So
yeah,
I'm always glad when I wake up in the morning and I see you've got everybody that posted while I was asleep. So that's great.
Okay, I better go. I am freezing in here too. It's like so cold. Okay, I'll go. Okay, turn this off. But thanks, guys.
Good night.
Thank you for having me.
Good morning. Good day.
Oh yes, good morning. No. It's okay. I'll get there eventually. Don't worry about me. I've got to turn the damn thing. Oh yeah. There it all was. Oh my God. Oh, okay. Shut up, Justin. Okay, I'm going now. Bye, everybody.
Well, I'm definitely excited to just start assembling my short trooper helmet now that I've got all the parts finally out.
And did you get your soft parts, the shirt and pants and gloves and all that?
I got those when I originally got the 850 armor kit. I think I got as many of the parts as I could, and I've never done an actual test fitting of everything. Yeah, I mean, I got my stuff when I was originally over in Korea, so it was a fun effort to get it shipped there. And then I didn't really have anyone to help out, and then I finally found 5 first people while I was in the process of leaving. It's like, well, okay, and it's just sort of been on the shelf collecting dust since I got over here and got settled. So now it's finally got time to sort of pull stuff out and realize, okay, I don't like the bucket. Everything else looks good. Let's see what I can do to rebuild this thing and just try that out. So I'm happy to throw the bucket together, at least make sure it all looks functional, then try to bring all the stuff down, at least to see how it all looks. I mean, I'm hoping everything still fits. Yeah, but no, thanks so much for hosting this, and I'll try to be more active online wherever I can, because I realize that's where you guys are doing a lot of coordinating, and that's where a lot of the pedal meets the metal, if you will. But I'll try to be around. Thanks so much for hosting. But I probably gotta get going and get my dogs outside. They're bugging me. It's a little hot out, but it's a little cooler now.
Okay.
Yeah, it was nice to meet you guys. I'll be around, and please stay safe and take care.
All right. Cheers.
Be interesting to do a short trooper photo shoot later this year, because it's the 5th anniversary of Rogue One.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that. Let's get one set up. Drag K2 out and
oh yeah, he'll be running
get our
on the
short troopers
beaches
together. Get Mark Edwards to we'll go down to the beach or something.
Oh, that'd be fun. I already got the dive fins, so I'm ready to go.
All right. Yeah, I'm all for it. That'd be awesome. All right. So anybody? So it's all just people hanging out now, huh? We did this to get people in Australia and Asia. Nobody came.
One person came.
Everybody here almost was from California.
Last time it was all Canadians.
Yeah.
Right?
Took over.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like we've gotten less countries by shifting the time. So next one we'll do back at our normal time.
Well, whenever we ask people what time, nobody chimes in, and then we do it at our normal time. They're like, "Well, I wasn't able to show up." It's like, well, you got to speak up.
Right. Right. Well, and also with people being able to actually meet up now, there's probably less demand for things like this.
Yeah.
But I think we should keep doing it, because I think it's always good for people to hear directly from the detachment.
Yeah.
Well, Matt, how else am I going to get to see all your lovely faces still?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I know. I defected. It's okay.
Yeah.
Are you you getting the toy ride organized for us, so we can just show up at the Shrine in December? And
I will gladly send you the information. I don't know that I haven't seen anything. I don't think they're going to do it this year again.
Yeah,
I think we're looking at next year.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, if you do hear, like, it's a big event. Like, it's a good event, so it's like we'll happily take over and do it. So
yeah, as long as we don't have to sit through the speeches, I'm game.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first one was the only one. I kiboshed that. That's never going to happen again.
Yeah, no, I remember that. That was awful.
Is that Leia running around back
Yeah,
there?
she's chasing the cat around. I took advantage of the RS Props kit sale and threw down for one.
Nice.
So I'm going to be building one of those whenever I get it.
What do you have right now?
Strider.
So you're gonna sell off your old kit or just hang on to it as a?
Well, the thing is that the belt is shot. And I've been trying to get a new belt from Mark, Mark CFO, because that's who Constantine sold his molds to. And he's just been kind of unresponsive. I don't know if he's busy or just hasn't had materials or what, but it's taken me about 6 months to get an answer from him. And then finally last week, he was like, okay, I can make you a belt. And I'm like, I already ordered the RS props kit. So I was just like, dude, if you already pulled the belt, I'll buy it from you. But if you haven't, don't worry about it. So he's like, okay, no problem. So I'll probably be selling the kit sans belt, and the person will just have to get like a Studio Creations belt or something for it.
The plastic, I've seen the CFO Strider kit, and I have an RS kit, and the plastic thickness on the RS kit is thicker, and so it should, even on the belt, so it should hold up better than the Strider kit. Because I remember when I saw the Strider kit, I was like, ooh, this is like kind of thin, especially like on the chest and the back. The RS one is considerably, not considerably thicker, but thicker enough to feel the weight
Well,
difference.
the thing is, I don't have a CFO Strider.
Oh, you have the original one.
Yeah, I have
Yeah.
I have one of the ones that Constantine pulled before he sold his mold. So I don't know even what plastic he was using compared to what Mark was using.
I'd be curious to know the difference there, because I mean, I remember that was the big thing with the CFO one. I was like, oh, this is so thin. This is gonna like, break.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the belt was, I don't know, a little stiff and maybe a little brittle, but I don't know. I don't know what Strider was using. So, but yeah, it's hanging on by a thread. There's really everything I've done to hold it together is finally just so. But yeah, RS was doing kits, so I was like, okay, now's the time to do it. It's not like thousands of dollars to buy one, so
yeah,
we'll see. We'll see how fast they get it shipped out.
Like I said, I think it's gonna be like probably 6 or 8 weeks. About.
I'm surprised how fast they've gotten back up to speed.
Well, if they don't have I mean, building one of those helmets is not an easy or fast thing to do. Although they've gotten pretty good at it. I mean, I think it takes them maybe 3-4 months to do like a full helmet.
Oh, I just ordered the armor though, not the helmet.
Oh, yeah. No, I know. I'm just saying, like, because you had said in the past, like, how long it took to get the original Dickie Beer helmet.
Yeah, it took a long time.
Yeah, and even if you buy one from them now, I think it takes like 3 or 4 months. But if they just got to pull the plastic and rough trim it, throw it in a box, I mean that's not going to take them that long.
No. Yeah, it took 13 months, I think, for me to get my Dickie Beer helmet. 14 months.
I remember there's the big battle between the EFX helmet and then the RS helmet, like which one was going to come first, and
As the EFX helmet is never.
No, that came. I mean, it came out. I don't think anyone really wanted it.
No,
but,
not to any significant. Yeah.
I mean, maybe level 2 of the Mandalorian, CRL. There'll be a market for those EFX helmets because that's what they used in the film.
Eric Smart is trying to get one. I think someone's trying to sell him one, and he's our CRL model right now.
Oh yeah.
So if he gets the EFX, I'll probably have him take some new pictures.
Yeah.
But I tried one of those on, and my head's just too big for it. And it's fiberglass, so it doesn't stretch. Like it made it to about here on me. So it's no good for me. And that was Gino, like, was like, here, try it on, man. And I was like, sure.
Mickey,
know?
I was just looking at RS props. So are there other sellers that do just a kit, like untrimmed?
Sure.
Because it looks like they sell just like complete kits, which
Yeah.
I know how to put a set of armor together. So
I mean, if I always tell most people, like, just by gauging their interest, to just buy a Studio Creations kit. It's the easiest. It's got decent accuracy. It's cheap and it ships fast and it's already trimmed. Jeff pre-trims the kits. So I think for most people, Studio Creations is just fine. RS is like for level 3 assholes like us that want to be as accurate as possible. You know, that's more like, you know, you're going off in a different direction, you know, like you want more than just to be able to go to a troop and be a scout. But for 90% of people's needs, a Studio Creations, I think, fits like that sweet spot of accuracy, cost, speed, and ease. I can't think of another maker that hits those marks so well. I mean, maybe I'm
well, because
missing,
for all
forgetting somebody, but
all armor pieces for 670, that's not bad.
Are you looking at Studio Creations now?
Yeah.
I mean, and you'll have it like within a month, if that. You know, it's like Jeff just bangs these things out.
I got mine within 4 days.
Yeah.
So he probably had like a kit in a box to be like, you know, next person who orders gets this one. Like, yeah.
Well, and you can't beat his customer service either.
Yeah, he's great.
No. And I mean, like, he practically gives you everything you need to make it in the box. It might not be level 2 stuff, but it's enough to get you going. He's super nice. And I mean, one of the things that I love about Jeff is that he looked at his chess piece and said, I can do better than this.
Mm-hmm.
And then he did, you know? And his chest accuracy went from like close to the bottom to like close to the top. So that scores a lot of points in my book too. So for most person off the streets, like, I want to be a scout, what should I do? I point them towards Studio Creations.
Especially if they live in the US.
Especially if they live in the US, but they have a huge following overseas too, you know? I see a lot of people in different countries, you know, with their kids. You know, I think we know which ones to avoid.
3 letters.
You know, Moncal makes a great kit, but the speed's not there, you know.
It's definitely not. I mean, he's a lot better. I love those guys. I mean, they're such nice people.
Yeah.
But I mean, it'll be a couple months probably. I mean, it's not horrific, but you know, and you will get it. But you know, it probably maybe I'm just guessing, but you know, it will be a couple months generally.
And it's a good looking kit too.
Yeah.
You know, it's a really nice looking kit. Very, as far as US makers go, probably the most accurate. But what's that? What was I don't know. Okay. But he does them in runs too. Like you kind of have to watch. He'll post like, doing a run of 10 kits, get on it now, you know, and then you just jump on it. So that's something else to watch out for.
What about blasters? What's a good place to get some blasters?
That's tough right now.
Yeah, Lou is hung up his blaster business, right? Like he's not doing it.
He sold it to someone in Texas. All I know is he had posted on the forums. He said, I sold it to someone he said they're in Texas and they fully intend to start casting blasters again. He has not said who it is. He didn't say who he sold it to, but he did say that they intend to start casting his rubber blasters again. And they're in Texas. Don't know who's in Texas that makes that stuff right now off the top of my head, or if it's someone who's really been doing it before. But yeah, normally I'd send folks to the scout kits to Darth Voorhees to Lou, but right now that's sort of a void right now, I guess. We don't have a great person to point people to unless they want to do 3D printing stuff.
I was gonna say, like, my Lou blaster is my favorite. I mean, I love it. I love the way it feels, the way it looks, but I troop with a 3D blaster because it doesn't weigh anything. And it just sits inside my boot. I never take it out. And it's like, I don't even feel it. That Lou's blaster's heavy, you know?
It's not that heavy. I mean,
compared to the 3D blaster.
That you're right. Yes.
Like the 3D blaster does not make my boot sag at all.
Yeah.
The Lou blaster puts weight on it and starts, kind of,
boot droop.
Yeah, boot droop. But the 3D blaster that I use, it has a magnet in it, and it just doesn't even feel like there's anything there. So the Lou blaster, definitely my favorite. I don't know where, we don't know who he sold it to right now. But for trooping, I use a 3D printed one.
I rarely even bring my blaster. It stays in my bin.
And that's just it.
Yeah.
In most places, they don't want us to have them, so it just stays in the bin.
It's on the wall right here. That's
I see.
That's where it's been the last
Of
couple
the 4 blasters behind you, which one is it?
The noisy cricket.
Yeah.
The little teeny tiny one.
I mean, it's like with the short trooper. I spent hours and hours and days printing an E22 that's probably never gonna see the light of day.
Daddy.
Yeah.
What's
She heard me say cricket, so now she's looking for a cricket.
yeah.
Aww.
Her and the cat.
Why say cricket? So cricket.
But yeah, I guess when we find out who Lou sold his molds to, we'll let everybody know and update the vendor list on the forum. But he kept it a secret.
What about DLTs?
Someone else everybody knows I hate the DLTs.
He hates them.
Someone else gonna have to answer this.
That's another tough one, because I mean, for a long time people were going to Hyperfirm.
That's what this is.
Yeah, Hyperfirm's out of business.
Yeah.
Then it was Praetorian for a while, which makes really nice ones. They're kind of pricey.
Yeah.
I haven't seen them active in a while. I don't know what they're doing right now.
I think his thing got destroyed by one of the hurricanes.
Okay.
It like wiped out his whole factory. One of the hurricanes did.
Okay.
Well, is there a 3D?
Yeah,
is there a good 3D?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a couple of threads that have been posted about people printing off and finishing their own DLT 19s at least. There should be a couple of those on the forums.
One of these boxes under the table is a DLT in parts that I never put together. I printed it, and then, like so many 3D projects, you print them and then they don't get finished.
Yeah, I got a whole box of Patrol Trooper.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting for the shirt.
Yeah, no shit, man. We got a year. We got a year to get these completed before celebration.
It's messing with my timetable.
Yeah. Yeah, right now blasters are kind of hard. Printing is probably your best option if you can. Otherwise, they're a little tough to get.
Somebody who in Scout Team 6, is it Nikki King?
Nikki does the smaller blasters.
Yeah, you could try asking Nikki King. She moved to Las Vegas, but I'm sure she'll ship one to you. You could try asking her to print one for you. That's the one I have. I have the one she. Yeah, there we go. There we go.
Yeah,
that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I always thought this was one of the more clever, newer age designs. Like, it's different enough, but familiar enough.
I mean, our goal for celebration was to have like 6 of them, and we hit some speed bumps, some COVID-sized speed bumps.
Well, now there's one of the droid groups I'm in is cranking out prints, all sorts of stuff. So I'm seeing K2s and L3s show up everywhere now. Everyone's just printing them for their rooms, which is awesome.
I have a bunch of patrol trooper parts printed out. I just need to start finishing them, but we need the soft goods.
Yep. Well, because even Armory Shop, I don't think you can even get the undershirts right now. He hasn't had them for months.
No.
He can't get materials to make them.
Right. Well, Steph Trooper like did half of mine and then ran out of material. So it was like there was a pair of sleeves on a mannequin, and that's as far as he got.
just safety pin it to a like a t-shirt underneath, and you'll be fine.
Yeah, who's gonna know?
Yeah. I think I need to hit up Shannon again and see if she's got some room open. Maybe she'd be willing to make a few of them.
What happened to Asia and Australia?
We had some Australia, but nobody likes us.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. People
Instead,
are
we've just
all talk, man. All talk.
Hey, we tried.
Yeah, we tried.
We made ourselves available. It's part of the battle.
It's recorded, so if anybody wants to go back and watch.
So they can hear
Yeah,
that shit.
yeah, they can hear us complaining about them not showing up, and yeah, that's fine.
I was hoping Glenn was going to come on so I could ask him how Tread Speeder guy's coming along.
Oh yeah.
It looks like somebody's actually going to do it though. I got another guy. Username's Pyro. I think.
saw that.
So I'm trying to coach them along.
We can have a cricket player.
Yep.
What's a tread speeder?
A terrible costume.
Yeah, I mean it's not great.
Which movie is it? Is it from the last?
You're doing a great job recruiting people to do this costume by, it's a terrible costume. Don't do it.
Oh, is it the jump trooper thing?
It's the guy riding the snowmobile in front of him. Yeah, like the one driving. It's a terrible.
Yeah.
It's not that it's so bad.
It's the they fly now guy.
No, it's not the guy that's flying.
Well,
though.
it's half of
the guy in front. It's the guy in front of the they fly
It's
now
one
guy.
half of the we fly now team.
Yeah,
I mean, it's basically a first order TK with a pair of pants, wearing a pair of pants and motorcycle boots. I mean, they didn't really put any effort into it. It's kind of surprising.
I mean, didn't we all feel that was literally to like that's the definition of a to sell toys change? Like, hey, here's a thing that's going to be in like 2 seconds of the film, and we got to have our trooper variants for reasons.
Yeah, but that one it's even more baffling because they had a live action production costume made, but the trooper as it appears in the film is almost completely CGI, and the CGI trooper is different than the production one. So we have like a variant. So yeah, it's weird. We're gonna have one of those CRLs with a tab basically, and it'll be production trooper, CGI trooper.
I had somebody questioning the JFO Scout a couple days ago about that. They're like, well, because the CRL doesn't match some of the like the images that they put up on like whatever this Wikipedia or whatever the Star Wars thing is now. And I was like, well, yeah, because everything in the CRL is in game. He's like, well, then why do they have the other shots? I was like, well, because we have to draw a line somewhere. Like we can't go out because the I wonder if I can find the pictures. The one that they use for the the hero shot essentially has the like the lines on the top of the Scout, like they're indents and things like that. I was like, it's the only time that it shows those, so we're never going to use that for the CRL because all the other ones don't show it.
Right.
So, yeah. I tried to be nice, so yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's no consistency within the game.
No. It's very odd. But ultimately, the way I kind of got them, I won them over was the fact of explaining the ROTJ Scout. Like, we know there's a stunt variant, and we decided never to use the stunt variant because obviously they were trying to make it look like the normal one. So having two was just dumb. So we wouldn't have two. Even the JFO Scout, there's two of us, I think, that have made that costume. Why would we make another version? That's dumb.
Yeah, I mean, for me, intentions matter a lot. And it's like, what was the intention here? Was the intention to make a helmet with no ear holes? Or was it just easier to put a black semicircle and call it a day instead of actually carving it out in 3D for the game? You know what I mean? Like stuff like that.
Yeah, no, and I think they finally got the point. What I was trying to make is like the helmet's supposed to be the same as a normal Scout, just accept that. Like that's all it is. But the bolts are different color. That's the only difference. Now it's loud. We've hit the complaining portion of the meetings where we're just griping about things. This always happens.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we just can't leave, CRL decisions up to the whims of computer game designers that aren't as mired in this stuff and care about it as much as we do,
No.
It's just, that's, not the way this works.
Well, I mean, you can tell what's meant to be an addition to that costume and what's different. But then, yeah, like you said, like, oh, the 3D model of the ears don't go in. It's like, that's not a change. That's a limitation, a chosen limitation of the model based on the game.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like, do you want the game to be playable or do you want it to look pretty? Because those are two very separate things.
It looks pretty, but it's really, really slow.
Yeah.
Because everything is fully modeled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At all distances.
And the visor is semi-transparent, so you have to model the face behind it, even though you'll never see it, but it's there.
Yeah.
But it's all 8K textures from a mile away. Yeah, not gonna happen.
Yeah, I like that part of the game. It, because when they first show up, you're like, oh, Biker Scout. Then you're like, oh, dang, this is like a mid-level boss to kill. Jeez, this is difficult.
And then I felt bad killing them. They have to be a good guy.
Oh, you want to talk about killing your things you love? When K2 shows up and I have to cut him in half because he's gonna throttle me. That was sad.
And then there's a million of them.
Yeah, then you go to the room and there's like 20 of them in sleep mode. And I'm like, well, I'm dead because there's no way I'm walking out of this room. Yeah, no. But yeah, no, I would need to play Jedi Fallen Order again. That was a really fun game. I think it has some replayability. It's like just long enough to feel like if you're starting over, you're just gonna take forever to redo.
I think if you have a newer console, they either just did or just redoing it for the newer consoles, so it'll look even
I have
nicer.
I have a PS4, so it's
same here.
Well, that's one of my shortlist builds for Celebration. Is I'm working on a BD1 puppet. So I know a lot of people who have made BD1 as like an animatronic with like a little base or like a self-standing, thing you can put on your shoulder. But I want to make something I can manipulate, and my goal is to like have him run up and jump on people's shoulders and look around. And I'm gonna try to do like I have the board for the back of his head, which will be lit up, but I'm trying to do all the other motions out of just linkages and traditional puppetry rather than servos to get, well, nobody likes servo sounds, but it should be fun. So I'll go find all the Cal Kestuses to jump on their shoulders.
I need to find a Silicious Crumb puppet. That's one of my long-term goals, because I don't want to make it myself.
Well, they have that little one at Galaxy's Edge, but I don't think it's a full size.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Want full size. We need to find somebody who's willing to make a full-size Jabba, and then I'll be set.
There's usually Jabbas. They're just usually statues.
Yeah.
To pose with. Or there's like two kinds of Jabbas. Those and the inflatable costume Jabbas. That's it. No in between.
Yeah.
They're full-size realistic or barely above Halloween costume.
Yeah, the inflatable T-Rex style costume.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, any questions? Otherwise,
totally wound down.
Yeah.
This is the other part of how late it is. Everyone starts energy level just old, tired.
I just drove back from the desert today. I'm exhausted.
I think, John, what is it, 11 o'clock for you?
Yes, it is 11 o'clock.
Good Lord, man. It's 8 and I'm beat. Well, why don't we call this a night?
Justin, thanks for setting this all up.
Thanks so much. Thanks for everyone coming.
Yeah.
Nice to meet the new folks.
Hope we answered everybody's questions.
Yeah, I'll post this up in the next day or two. Cool. Not that you want to watch it again, but yeah.
Awesome.
Okay, guys.
All right, everybody. Good night.
See ya. Good night. Good night, everyone.